Thanks for listening to another episode of PSL on the Mic, the City of Port St. Lucie's official podcast. So the city's first strategic goal is safe, clean, and beautiful. And we're always trying to improve safety and planning for our future needs and beautifying our landscape. They're three of our top priorities for that very first goal. Now, we're here today with Meighan Beckett. She is the program manager, almost called you director. That's probably better, but program manager for Keep Port St. Lucie Beautiful, which is an initiative that contributes heavily, very important to this first goal of ours, safe, clean, and beautiful. Welcome to our studio.
Thank you. Very happy to be here.
We hope you're calming down because this is very nerve-wracking, but...
The podcast or?
Yes. The podcast, yes. And speaking in front
you have a very
of
calming voice.
That's what people say. I don't really believe that a lot. So welcome, Meighan. Before we get started, though, I want you to tell us a little about yourself, where you came from, what interested you in this position at the city.
Okay, well, I grew up here in Port St. Lucie since I was 4 years old.
I did not know that.
I did. I moved away for a while just, because you have to run away for a while.
Of course.
But eventually came back. So, so since I was 4, so definitely saw a lot of growth here.
Yeah.
The city used to pretty much end at the turnpike. We didn't even have 95, and I'm very old.
Join the club, me too.
Yeah. As far as me working here in the city, I've been with the city for 2.5 years.
Okay.
I did a lot of hospitality, a lot of restaurant work, restaurant management, basically every job in a restaurant for all of those years. So, which is good. It helps me, with the public and, just was a good experience, but it was fun to move into something new. So, so I started about 2.5 years ago with the Office of Solid Waste when that was developed, answering phones, listening to residents, answering questions about the new trash service.
Oh, okay. So you started in the Office of Solid Waste.
I did.
Okay. All right. Cool.
And then it kind of grew from there. And then when the program moved over from when the Keep Port St. Lucie Beautiful program moved over from Public Works, I was lucky enough to get this job and be able to do what I've been doing for the last year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, tell us what Keep Port St. Lucie Beautiful is and why it's so important to the city.
So, there are a million reasons I would be able to list here, so I'll try and touch on some of the most important ones. Being part of the Keep America Beautiful is really amazing because it provides a lot of information and it kind of guides us as to, how we can operate our program too, because we're their affiliate. So litter prevention and education, a lot of that comes from being part of the affiliate with Keep America Beautiful. But we also, do so much outreach with residents. We're at so many events throughout the year. This is my peak season. I think I have 10 events coming up through May.
I know. That's why we wanted to have you in.
It's busy. Yeah. It's very busy. So it gives us grant opportunities to be part of Keep America Beautiful, but just being part of the city itself as a program, we do all of the litter prevention and education. It's important because it keeps the city beautiful. It keeps the city safe. That's a direct link between litter and safety and having a city where people, feel like they can go out and it, stays beautiful that way. And we do live in a beautiful city,
We do. I've traveled a lot recently. Now I've gone to New York City and stuff. It's completely different than Port St. Lucie. But I have to say, even going to smaller cities, Port St. Lucie is so clean.
It's so clean.
And the landscaping is beautiful. So, kudos to our team because the city looks awesome.
It really does.
Yeah.
It really is amazing that there's, the focus on keeping it, looking like it does is it's amazing. And that's it. Again, I can think of 1,000 reasons why it's important to have this program in the city. It's great, the resources that we have within the city, we're able to do the programs that we do, which is, which we're about to talk about.
Yeah.
So that's, again, there's a million reasons, but.
Yeah. Let's jump into those programs because there are a couple within KPSLB. Obviously, the most popular one, I think, would probably be Adopt a Street or Adopt a Spot.
Yes.
Let's talk about that because we have tons of groups and I see them on the street all the time.
That's awesome. I love hearing when people see them. That's so much fun. So we have roughly 85 groups right now, which is huge. And some of them have been for more than 10 years.
That's awesome.
Out doing cleanups and participating in the program. So So which is amazing. So 85 groups, they range from 1-member groups to 60-member groups. Anybody can be a group. I have multiple churches, HOAs, businesses, just family groups, like Boy Scout troops. I'm trying to think. Southport Middle School just kind of re-upped again.
We just share that on our Facebook
exactly.
page. Yeah.
So, it's a little bit of everybody.
And they can obviously call you guys or email you guys, but what does that entail as if you have an Adopt a Street group? What do they have to do?
So what they do is they commit to a once a month cleanup.
Okay.
About a mile. No, it's not. It's, it's a Saturday morning and it's, some people like to go in the evening when it's a little cooler. It just depends. It depends on when your group can get together too. So once a month, a mile or more if you want. I have one lady that has a 4-mile route that she does by herself. I think with her dog, actually.
Bless her heart.
Yeah. So, and they do that. And then they send me hopefully their pictures, which is fun because then we get to share those. But at the very least, their collection data, like how much they picked up, how many bags, and we kind of estimate how much a bag weighs. And, sometimes those people who are doing the reporting will send in like, hey, I saw some illegal dumping or, and it gives us, believe it or not, more eyes out there on the road. And it gives us a chance to go and pick up these items like there's a tire in the bushes or, something like that. So they're more... they're just more eyes and ears out there, I guess. So that's it. So that's their monthly cleanup. And, they call me and they ask for supplies. Hey, I ran out of trash bags.
The litter grabber.
Yes. Yep. Hey, my litter grabber needs to be replaced. Anything. So, and they get all of that when they sign up. They get, their very orange, bright shirt.
Yes. Well, you have to be safe.
Yes, you have to be
safe,
very
clean,
visible.
and beautiful.
Yes.
So do we have groups all over the city?
Yes.
Mostly?
Yeah, from Becker to Torino.
Okay.
And
wow.
East to west.
And
from
east to
Village
west. That's
Parkway
awesome.
all the way through, I think the most eastern group I have is Melaleuca.
Okay.
So
that's
really,
pretty far east, yeah.
It touches every point and everywhere in between.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Litter prevention, I know that's a part of it too. And cigarette litter prevention, we did a big, huge push on that a few years ago. We worked with the Saints picking up cigarette butts, cigar butts, and the amount that came out of just the entire city as a whole was crazy. And
It's
I think
amazing.
businesses like Home Depot and Lowe's, they were helping out too. What are some of the ways that we've actually used businesses and our volunteers to help with litter like that?
So that in particular, when that program started, a lot of that infrastructure is still in place. I actually have a list of all the businesses here. But like you said, Home Depot, FedEx, Treasure Coast, businesses like Hazley Funeral Home, Coldwell Banker, some of the HOAs, St. Lucie Battery and Tire just had a lot of those freestanding receptacles installed. And so those are outside businesses where people would tend to wait, even just for a few minutes, maybe pop outside and,
Getting their tires rotated, oil change. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So, finding those opportunities and maintaining that infrastructure is one great way to keep the litter prevention happening, at least in those places. And then, doing those campaigns, advertising to people that cigarette litter is the number one form of litter.
I was going to ask that.
And it is, especially for the size that it is. All of that is... Sorry, I was looking for my notes for that just because.
It's okay.
So the installation of those, what we do too is, again, being able to partner with Keep America Beautiful's programs, they do these pocket ashtrays and, little pocket envelopes for cigarette butts so that people can carry them around, say at like an event or, maybe they're, going to the park for a day or to the beach for a day and they can use those small little pocket ashtrays.
What a great idea.
So that's another way in being able to set up a booth at, different places like the Safety Fest or Earth Day and, distribute those to, not to promote smoking, but acknowledge that people still smoke.
Of course.
And this is a way to keep the cigarette butts off the ground. So
that's good.
And of course, the Adopt a Street people,
Pick them up
are
too.
picking them up all the time too. And it's funny, sometimes I'll get comments like too many cigarette butts at the, at the bottoms of their forms. So
going back to that, is there anything that you tell people not to pick up? To maybe tell you guys first, like maybe the illegal dumping or something?
Yes, of course. Anything that you can't really pick up with the grabber and put in your trash bag, you should really report to us.
Okay, good.
We don't want you to touch any mystery items or things that look potentially dangerous.
Right.
Leave those for us and notify us. And, we do a pretty extensive safety training for, everybody when they sign up. So,
good.
So all of that gets mentioned, and it was it was funny hearing it verbalized with the middle school kids because, she goes into a little more detail about, make sure you don't put anything up close to your face.
Right, because kids tend to do
might
that.
tend to do that. Yes, exactly.
What does this smell like? Yeah, exactly.
So definitely, stay cautious of those things. Wear your closed-toed shoes and make sure you put your sunscreen on and stay away from, the main roads. We do all of that before people go out to make sure they're not trying to roll a tire home with them or something.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Now, can they pick their own spot to clean up, or do you say, "Oh, hey, this area has a lot of litter. Pick this spot"?
It's actually both. So
Okay.
I had a group sign up recently that was going to be meeting someplace. And so they needed some recommendations for a cleanup spot.
Okay.
And so, I'll give them a few options. Mostly I'm looking for something that's off of a main road that has a place where they can meet and park their cars, that hopefully has a sidewalk nearby,
Right.
that's not a main busy thoroughfare. So that's one of the reasons, or one of the ways people can find their route. But a lot of times people will want to do their own route because it's near home and they
Sure.
can use their home base.
It's where they walk their dog or their kids go to the park.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And as long as no one else has signed up to clean the route and it's, within a safe area, then absolutely they can pretty much pick wherever they want to clean up.
Awesome. Is there a litter hotline? I was reading somewhere where there's a litter hotline. So
Yes.
what you see a bunch of litter and you just call KPSLB?
Yeah, so the litter hotline will take you to the Office of Solid Waste through
Okay.
1PSL.
Okay.
And you can report litter on public property there. So if you saw, I actually live near a spot where I see a lot of fast food bags.
Okay.
So I know that route is, number one, it's a part of an Adopt a Street group, and it's also part of our litter crew. So it gets
get into
cleaned up
that
on a
too.
regular basis.
Yeah.
But, say you live in an area where you see somebody throw stuff out, like on their way home from work all the time or something. So you can report
frustrating.
that. Yeah, it is. And I see it in my neighborhood too when I walk my dog.
Yeah.
I find little, bottles of things that people are drinking on their way home. So it happens. It's what people are doing. And, unfortunately, they don't have a trash bag in their car,
That's why we have these groups we have.
which we give away at our events.
Yes.
Litter trash bags for your car.
Oh, I know that's
Yes.
such a great idea.
They're amazing.
So let's talk about this litter crew.
Litter crew is amazing. So when it's fully staffed, it's a 7-person crew with a supervisor. They're responsible for roughly 240 miles of the roadway in the city.
And these are staffers,
Yes.
folks. Yeah.
Yes, they work for the city and they drive 5 days a week and they have the route that they go through once a week and they start at one end and, work their way back to the other end and then start all over the next
Is that all
So
they do all day?
It is.
Oh,
I mean, they do
wow.
help with other things too.
Sure,
Like,
but
they
that's
would
their priority.
That is their priority.
Yeah.
They would also be helping us pick up the illegal items that we
Mm-hmm.
get reported in or things like that. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing. They're one of the biggest reasons that the city is as clean as it is, just because of
know.
what they do.
They're awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You just said illegal dumping. Let's skip ahead. The Household Hazardous Waste Collection Day is coming up very soon.
Very soon.
And that is where these chemicals like sprays and stuff or paint that you use at your house, this is where you can get rid of them
Yes.
for free. The city takes care of it. Let's talk about it and let everybody know when that is.
Absolutely. So Hazardous Waste Day is on March 1st. So it's 2 Saturdays from this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It is for 4 hours from 8 a.m. to noon. It's at the corner of Bayshore and Thornhill, where the Public Works facility
Yep.
is. You'll see a big vehicle message board outside. You'll see police there guiding traffic. And we'll be there for 4 hours. We have a host of vendors that come and collect different types of things, their specialties. And that's it. We are able to, and also police department is on site with us too. And I just
Right.
give them a nod because they come and
Yeah.
collect prescriptions and ammunition that day.
Oh,
too.
good.
So so it's a fantastic event. It is the last few events we did somewhere around 450 cars drove through, which is a lot. I'm hoping for 500
That
this time.
is a lot.
But it's amazing because people drop off their electronics, their
Yeah, what sort of
batteries.
items? What sort of
So
items?
mostly, and we're happy to get them. They're recyclable batteries. We
Okay.
want batteries to stay out of the trucks because they cause fires. So any kind of electronic batteries, power tool batteries, rechargeables, vehicle batteries,
Okay.
basically anything except for alkaline batteries, you can drop off with us.
Okay,
And that's just batteries. So-
Right, and then I'll put it in the show notes, but there's,
Mm-hmm.
we'll put the calendar event in there, and there's a huge listing of what you guys do accept and what you do not accept.
Exactly.
What are some of the things that you don't accept that people might think that you would?
We don't accept tires.
That we used to, and now
I
we
think
don't
so,
anymore.
And yeah,
Yep.
it just, it
So
depends
no tires, everyone.
No tires, sorry. We're working on that, though. We'd love to do some places do a tire collection event, and that would be a really fun thing to do. But that, got to figure the logistics out for that one.
Exactly.
But in the meantime, things we don't take, biohazards, explosives, and flares. I believe you can contact the Coast Guard for flare disposal.
Oh, interesting.
I
Okay.
believe so. I might be making that up, but I'm pretty sure it's true.
If she's making it up, we'll figure it out for you.
Yes, call me at the litter hotline and I'll figure it out. The most important thing we don't take is latex paint or water-based paint. We take oil-based paint, spray
Right.
paints, all of those things, epoxy, stains, gloss, all of that. But latex paint is non-toxic. It can just be dried out and put in your trash can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's very easy to do it at home. You can air dry if there's not much left in the can. It's usually take a day or two for it to kind of dry itself out. If it's more than that, there is a little mixture that you can add to the can, and it hardens the paint pretty much immediately.
And then it could go in the regular trash.
Exactly, right in the trash can.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know.
See, I'm learning too.
And it's, I feel bad. People save their latex all year, and then they're like, what do you mean you don't take latex paint? But it's because, it's really just very easy to dispose of at home.
Yourself, right? Take the
Yes.
lid off, let it dry out.
Exactly. And the little mixture is not expensive, and they sell it per the gallon can kind of thing. So if you had 2 half gallons, you could use one container, split it between the two, and get rid of your old paint.
Awesome. I don't think I asked you this question when I sent you some talking points, and I might be putting you on the spot, but do you have any statistics about how, in pounds, how much stuff was collected for that?
Oh, I don't have it with me.
Okay.
But-
That's okay. But it's a lot.
But it is available, and if anybody wants to know, I usually post it in the Pulse the following. So it's on on the city website.
The city manager's biweekly,
Exactly.
on the Pulse now.
So we had our last event in October, so it would have been in
yeah.
November's issue. So I try and post, and it's broken down by item. Too.
Item, right.
So you'll see
Okay.
batteries, you'll see e-waste, you'll see, chemicals, you'll see fire extinguishers, propane
Awesome.
tanks, light bulbs, the fluorescent bulbs, all of those. So
Okay, great.
yeah, the breakdown's there.
Now we have, we're cleaning all the time. We have the litter crew, we have our Adopt a Street, Adopt a Spot. We also have, I think, parks too, that we can clean parks. I believe Parks does that.
Parks does that. Yep. I think we're trying to bring that program, kind of work together with them
Good,
somehow.
good.
So that's we're working on that right now.
And we also have a big kind of almost all day event, the Caring Community Cleanup.
We do.
And that's in April?
It is.
I think it's
April,
the same
April
year.
5th.
Okay.
April 5th. Usually the first weekend or second weekend in April, that event happens. This year, Easter is on the 20th of April, so it kind of shifted everything a little forward.
Right, because we kind of, around Earth Day, we kind of have
Correct.
it. Okay.
And so, and just to say that Earth Day is at Oxbow this year, and
Yep.
that's on April 12th, and we'll be there too.
Right.
We'll have,
good.
We'll
good,
have
good,
our
good.
table there as well. So, but our event is on April 5th. We'll have a little host of exhibitors that come and hang out for the day. We'll have some music with the DJ that was there last year and for
good.
the last couple of years. He's great. So the event is basically from 7:30 in the morning to 1.
Okay.
People can come in, they check in, they pick up all their supplies. They usually pre-register beforehand. They get their event T-shirt and go out. They do their cleanup for about an hour, hour and a half. Have breakfast, and then once they come back, then we have lunch and we do raffles and just kind of hang out. It's great. The exhibitors are wonderful. Some city departments will be there with us, and then some other people like the University of Florida Extension Campus will be
great.
there. Oxbow will also be there. Our partners with the Treasure Coast Waterway will be there, and some others too.
Yeah, because
So
they have a cleanup too. And this is separate from the
do.
cleanup, but I think it's are theirs in the summer?
there is in July. Yeah,
Okay,
we do the
that's what I
waterway
thought.
cleanup specifically.
Okay. So Caring Community Cleanup, it's different from Adopt a Street, Adopt a Spot. It's just a one-day thing. It's kind of a great way. I have a lot of friends who have little kids and bring them just for the day to kind of teach them, when they're young, like, let's keep where we live beautiful. Let's pick up trash. Let's
Exactly.
kind of instill that in them at a young age.
Totally that. And it's a great opportunity for people who might not have the time to dedicate to doing an Adopt a Street group. where they can come and do, this once a year
Once a
cleanup.
year, yep.
A lot of students like to participate because they get to earn their volunteer
Yep.
hours while doing that. So I've been going back and forth with Port St. Lucie High School trying to figure out how they can participate this year. So it's a chance for people who maybe can't do the whole year to do something that
Like
they
the once
would
a month
want to-
adopt a
yes,
street.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
And this is where you kind of tell people to go to, or can they go in their neighborhoods for this?
both of those.
Okay,
So
good.
yeah, we'll have
Okay,
some
good.
predetermined locations if people need a suggestion. Again, finding places where it's accessible, easy,
Right.
and safe. And then some people like to go back to their own neighborhood. Some adopt-a-street groups will go back to their route and do their cleanup for the week and have
Okay.
it be part of the community cleanup. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, it's just a cleanup, basically just a mad dash. Everybody go clean up somewhere.
Everyone clean up PSL. So volunteers are like the heartbeat of this group then.
Yes.
How many volunteers do you think we have? And also, how important are they to you guys?
Oh, no, I'm just kidding.
Just
They're
slightly.
So important.
I mean, so important you have a breakfast for them every year, too.
Yes, well, let me celebrate all the ways of the volunteers. So we have at least 500 volunteers, give or take,
Whoa.
with Adopt a Street.
Yeah.
Because I have one group that has 60 members. Just
That's
one
awesome.
group. So, and then when you have, church groups and a little bit bigger groups that they have sometimes a rotating pool of like 30.
Right.
So, we don't always
10
have
this
500
month, 10
participating, but we have 500 within
Total.
the groups where,
Wow.
some like for the middle school, not every volunteer will work every cleanup, maybe half of them will go out this month, half will do the next month,
Right,
that kind of thing.
right.
So somewhere in that range, though, for the cleanup, we had just over 200 people last year sign up and come do the cleanup too. So, that adds another 200 people that volunteered at least once for the year
Yeah.
to come and participate and, do what we're doing all year long. Yes, we have the breakfast. So we do dedicated specifically to the Adopt a Street volunteers. We do the breakfast. We did it in July last year. It'll be in June this year.
Okay.
And it's just a way to say thank you. It's like a
Yeah.
little breakfast kind of party, if you will. And we do some awards for, like the group with the most hours, or the group with the most, heaviest bags. Or,
Who picked up the most. Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool.
And the fun thing is we were able to start collecting like selfie pictures of people. So hopefully we'll have a best photo contest this year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
While they're doing their cleanups.
Yeah. So,
oh, that's so cool.
especially when there's, some people will do like the selfie pose, and then there'll be some groups that send in their picture too. So,
Good.
Keller Williams just did a yearly cleanup, and the Port St. Lucie Running Club. And yeah, so it's nice. So it'll be a fun thing to have like the group photo challenge.
We love our volunteers. Now, I wanted to get into the tree giveaway. It's probably one of our most popular events. I think I put up a Facebook event or a next door event about this, and it goes crazy.
Right.
I want to emphasize right now, if you want a tree, show up early. Because everybody wants a tree. Usually they're fruit trees most of the time.
Yes, most of the time.
And it's in May this year. So do you have any idea what kind of trees they are this year?
I might know.
You might know. Are you allowed to share that with
Maybe.
us?
No, I'm just kidding. Yes,
Okay.
I can. So we're going to do avocados because they seem to be a staple favorite for people.
Yeah, they're popular.
They really are. And they grow and they become very good shade trees. And, it just... So avocados have been a hit. So they've been at, I think, most of the giveaways,
They have.
even
They
before
have.
me. So, and then we were doing sugar apples this year. So I've never seen those available
I've never
before.
seen. I've been here this May will be 5 years. I've never seen a sugar. We've been doing the Barbados cherries.
Right, we did those last year. And
Lemon or other ones.
Yeah, so that'll be a new fun,
Cool.
something different for people that like, oh, no one has these, so that'll be, I hope everyone will be happy with those. So, and
I
then
think they will.
we're going to do a very small amount of a shade tree just because we haven't done one in a
Okay.
long time. So I think it's the green buttonwood. It's
Okay.
not a very, very large tree,
Right.
but it is a non-fruiting tree that would create some shade. So we're trying to see if people would be interested, and so we just did a small amount for this coming.
Okay, so a little shade tree and
Little
then
shade tree
the
and mostly
two
fruit trees.
Fruit trees, awesome. And we have 2 a year. It's May and September?
Correct.
Okay.
May 3rd and September, I don't have the calendar, maybe September 6th.
Okay.
It's right around
Yeah,
there.
well,
It's the first
trust
week
me.
of September,
Just
first
check
week
our
of May.
social media, check our website. It's cityofpsl.com/KPSLB. Everything will be there eventually.
Yes.
But I had to talk about that because we had discussion. We're a Tree City, USA. Like you said, that's kind of a public works award.
It is.
But we contribute to that too.
Absolutely.
KPSLB does.
Oh, absolutely. So I think we share it. Key Port St. Lucie Beautiful used to be part of Public Works.
Yes.
And I think that was always a kind of a joint venture for them.
Yes, we love our trees here.
Yes, absolutely.
Kind of a personal thing now. As the program manager, what does KPSLB mean to you? Meighan Beckett, to you. What does it mean?
To me. Do you mind if I had to write down notes?
You
there's
can
a lot of
write
that
down
too.
whatever you want and say whatever you want. Especially because I know this is important.
It is, and I wanted to put some thought into the question because it's a very thoughtful question. Really, opportunity. Key Port St. Lucie Beautiful is an opportunity to do a lot, to be part of a lot, to learn a lot, to partner with people, to volunteer, to really just be overall just part of everybody's community and every department in the city too. Like, it's funny how much we work with everybody.
Yep.
So, which is awesome. But opportunity and, raising more awareness about litter, cigarette litter, education, of course, being able to hand out information at our outreach events, like Earth Day and, things like that. Answering questions, just the chance of being able to talk to people and answer questions that they have, when else would you think to ask the question unless you have an opportunity like that? So partnering with local businesses, again, with the ashtrays, doing all of that to kind of, keep them on board with us to make sure that they're, when they get an ashtray, they get a bucket and a grabber so that they can go and do their parking lots, and keeping commercial litter, at bay at the same time. So just keeps it fresh in everybody's mind, essentially.
Yeah.
But just opportunity to do so much, we do,
to make a change.
Yes, to make a change.
Feel like you're making a change.
To participate and be part of your community. And I think that that's what we're really doing all the time in one way or another.
Right.
So
where can people find more information? I think we already gave it away, but go ahead.
There's a lot of ways. But, yeah, thecityofpsl.com/KPSLB.
Yep. It's the best way.
You can email me, and I think a lot of people don't realize that you can just shoot me an email from the website. The email is linked onto the page, and you just click on that, type your question in, send
it goes to
me.
Meighan.
It goes directly to me. I look at that inbox probably 5 to 10 times a day and make sure if people need something answered, even if it's not me. If you have a question and you don't know how to reach out to the right person, I'll find you the right person. So you can call me, but the email is the best. The website is the best. Like I said, the litter hotline will bring you directly to an actual live person that you can report your litter to.
Is that number's on the KPSLB website too?
It is.
Do you know that one by heart? Maybe we can give it out now.
Yes, it's 772-871-7000.
Okay, that's easy.
And that'll bring you directly to somebody that you can say what you
there's
saw.
a bunch of litter on US 1 or Port St. Lucie Boulevard.
And the same for illegal dumping, too. If you say, oh, hey, I saw a couch might have fallen off of the back of someone's truck somewhere, hey, there's a couch over here. So, you can tell any kind of illegal dumping or litter, you can let us know through that hotline.
Good. And I'm hoping that we get a lot more volunteers out of this podcast and all the information we share. Where can they call you? Can they email that? What's the best way to say, hey, I want to start an Adopt-A-Tree group?
Exactly that. I think the email is the best because what I would do is send them a little bit more information, and make sure when they read through everything that they're definitely good for a mile, good for the once a month, that kind of a thing. So
right, because you want to keep this going. You don't want people to do it just once. That's maybe what the care and community cleanup is for. You want to do it once.
So I want, that way I know that they're serious, that they want to kind of take on the challenge of doing the monthly cleanup, and then we get everybody outfitted and get everything all set up, and then they get to come in and I'll meet with them and, any questions, things like that. So
good.
The email is the best because it really, like I said, it's right there on the desk all day long, so I get to see every type of question. Sometimes I might have to send you to Public Works for something that might be drainage related or, anything like that. So, but that's the best way to get any information.
Awesome. Meighan's always manning the email. Before we get into our 10 questions, do you have anything else you want to add?
I think that was the thing I wrote down to add was to ask us your questions.
Okay.
Even if it's not relevant to Key Port St. Lucie Beautiful. And sign up for our newsletter. You can do that through the website too.
Oh, yeah. It's all on the website,
Yes.
cityofpsl.com/KPSLB.
That's it.
I don't know how many times I type that in on the daily.
Yes.
Meighan, I appreciate you coming in. I know you were like nervous, but you did awesome.
Thank
this
you.
was one of my favorite podcasts, I have to say. I felt like it was really relaxing and
Well, we're talking about some fun stuff.
It's a great topic.
Yes.
So thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
We always end our podcast with our 10 questions,
Okay.
which might actually be worse for you than talking about KPSLB. But it's just a way to, I say this every time, it's just a way to get to know our staffers a little bit more. Like, hey, we do things outside of work, and
Right.
we're actually cool people. We're not,
Well, you think I'm cool?
government-esque. Right. So we used to give people a time limit, but
That's fine.
we'll just do whatever we want
I
now.
kind of pre-prepped my answers just because I knew I would be nervous for this part. So
That's okay.
All right.
Here we go. Your favorite food.
that's an impossible determination. I love food.
You love food?
I do. I love all kinds of food. I love Indian food, Asian food, French food, you name it. I'm loving it.
She loves food.
Love the
Don't
food.
we all? What's your favorite movie?
That's another tough choice, but I will say I did want to somehow be Indiana Jones when I was a kid, like the girl version of Indiana Jones, and be, globetrotting archaeologist.
Adventurer.
So, yes.
Awesome.
Indiana Jones, probably.
Any of those. What about your favorite hobby?
Hobby, cooking, related to food.
Okay.
Not baking, though. Not baking, just cooking.
Baking is different.
Very
Baking is
different.
very precise.
Yes.
I actually like that because I'm kind of nerdy and controlling. I like to see half a cup, quarter cup. So I don't know
that's-
if they come out very great, but
I'm more of the...
just throw it
Yes.
in. Dash here, dash
Yes,
there.
exactly that.
How about your favorite singer or band?
That was just the hardest one. But, it always depends on where you are in your life, who you're listening
Sure.
to. So, but Otis Redding, one of my all-time favorites. Pink Floyd, believe it or not. John Mayer. I mean, I could just go on and on.
It just depends on where you are in
Depends
your
on where you... I was like, well, do you mean like my favorite concert? Or,
life. Like, or right now.
or right this minute? Yeah.
Maybe that's a question I should ask. Like,
Yeah.
what's on your Spotify right now?
What are you listening to right now?
I might have to change that. Your favorite book?
I wrote down two, but honestly, like Bill Bryson is such a great author. If no one's ever heard of him, he's
I haven't.
a comedian, but he's not a
Okay.
comedian. That's not the right. He's a comedic author.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he kind of tells stories through like just in a really funny way. Like, but he also writes stories about real things like history and explains them through these funny details and just kind of like really just has a way about him. So he wrote this book called A Short History of Nearly Everything, which
That's
is
great.
which is really like a science book for adults who kind of forgot all the science they learned in school. And you're kind of like, but I really feel like I want to remember how the universe works and how does weather work and how does this work? And he does an amazing job explaining it in a way that's relatable to just kind of the average everyday person.
And what's his name again?
Bill Bryson.
Bill Bryson. Oh, I'm Googling him when I go back to my
He's so
desk.
fun. So he writes little, like the first book I ever read was A Stranger Here Myself. And he had lived in England for 25 years and then moved back to the United States
Okay.
because he's from here. And so he wrote about his adjustments of dealing with American systems versus, living in a different country.
Oh, that's great.
And just, trying to talk to Social Security or, something like that. So anyway,
I love that. What about your favorite holiday?
Well, my name is Meighan, so I'm going to say that it's St. Patrick's Day.
There we go. Favorite place to visit?
Place to visit, there's a little place in Hawaii called Lani Kai. It's a little beach, and it's beautiful. I had that, took my breath away moment there when I first saw it. So
That's lovely.
it's amazing.
What about your favorite dessert?
Probably creme brulee. I'm more of a salty person than a sweet person, but creme brulee is
Same.
on the
I
list.
agree.
Yeah.
Favorite TV show?
I'm rewatching Castle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh.
I love that show. And The Good Place, which was, it's
remember
not on
that.
anymore, but yeah. And that was I'll tend to kind of go back to my reruns when I just need to power down and,
I've been
de-stress.
doing that. I've been rewatching things. I'm a huge Sopranos fan.
Okay.
And I think I've seen it about a dozen times, and I'm now watching it again.
Right? I mean, sometimes there's just comfort in that. It's like they're your people a little
Yep,
bit. So.
exactly. And we're up to our last question.
Last question.
Your
My-
favorite color?
I would have to say purple.
Oh, okay. Everybody's been saying blue, so thank you for changing it up.
No, purple since I was a kid. It was just, the most amazing color.
Royalty.
Exactly.
Before we end, I want you to remind everybody about the next event again.
So Hazardous Waste Day, it's on March 1st.
Yep.
It's at the corner of Bayshore and Thornhill. The actual address is 450 Southwest Thornhill Drive.
Right.
You'll be able to drive through. It's a drive-through event. You can drop off your household hazardous waste, chemicals, and things. Go to the website for the whole list. Just pop the trunk. We have a bunch of us there. We'll just grab the box that you put together for us and send you on your way. So it's pretty straightforward and pretty
Very quick.
Yep. And we'll take everything that's on that list. So make sure you read through it and not your latex paint.
No latex paint.
No
people.
latex paint.
Just dry that out.
Exactly.
And then we have the Caring Community Cleanup coming up in April.
April
and then
5th.
a tree giveaway. In May.
Oh, and then we'll be in a lot of other places, like just a little plug. The Botanical Gardens is having their 15th anniversary.
They are. I just
on
saw that.
March 15th, so I'll be there. We're going to be at Fam Fest. We're going to be at Earth Day. We're going to be probably at Safety Fest, and then I'm going to take a nap.
KPSLB everywhere in PSL. I love it.
Everywhere we can be, we're pretty much there. Oh,
Good.
and I think we'll also be at the Irish Fest.
Awesome. Well, I mean, you'll probably want to go anyway.
Yes, yes.
Awesome,
Exactly.
Meighan. Thank you again so much for
Thank you.
coming into our studio. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great day.
You too.